Welcome back to Robin Bits and Pieces. I'm sorry I have not been putting up very many project videos. We've been busy building this building and I want to update you on that. And my husband and I don't work very well together, so I wanted to keep it family friendly, so I didn't video much of this. I'm dubbing this video Mars and Venus because men and women think differently. My husband was studying up the building, thinking he was helping while I was at work, and I was thinking he didn't want me involved. Even though we do fight when we're working together, I just felt like I was left out. The Mars and Venus comes into play even when we were pouring the cement foundation, or slab I should say. My cousin and my son come over and helped, and I noticed when I was looking back through the video, I had the screed board and my cousin come around, he took the screed board and handed me the shovel, and then I had the shovel and was putting the cement back on. And even the delivery boy was involved in this. He went to school with my youngest boy. He took the shovel away from me, and it was like I ended up being the gopher person, and being female and wanting to be involved in the projects. I mean, how else are you supposed to learn? But I know they felt like they were helping, and we just feel differently about that. And even building this, my husband's a little OCD, except when it comes to doing the roof. And I did have the video camera out on the roof, but I forgot to turn it on. I was already up there, and I felt I already showed you guys the video of us doing the shed roof, so I wasn't too concerned about that. But on the building, I want to explain how I designed it. As you can see, it is almost 8 foot this way, just a tiny bit less, and 8 foot, if I get my finger in there, and 8 foot or 12 foot this way, in order to do the least amount of cutting of the wood and on ordering supplies. The roof panels come in 3 foot sections, and that way I only had to get 4 of them. The trim around the edges seems to be the most expensive. The windows on both ends are recycled from that camper I tore apart. The door on this end, my son bought me from off of Buy, Sell, and Trade for $20, and I trimmed off the bottom, which I did get a video of me painting it. I forgot to turn the video on when I was actually cutting it. This is the door I want to put on the chicken house side of the chicken goat barn, and I just cut off the bottom piece. I didn't want it quite that tall. I'm going to be sanding it. I've already put some caulking around the panel that holds the window, but in the process of bringing it out, I realized that this window is kind of movable in the frame, so then I'm going to have to get some silicone caulking and get that sealed in there too. On this side, it is 8 foot tall, clear up to the top of the stringers for the roof, in order to not even cut anything except the door holes on this side. I went a little less than 8 foot this way so that I'd have a little bit of overhang from the roof, and I could just order 8 foot pieces. My chicken run, is 10 foot long by a little less than 8 foot. I've got everything done. We put a roof on it to enclose it. I need to put the boards around the bottom, but the ground is like cement. I've got an idea. If it works, I will post a video on that, on how to get into this dirt, because the Maddox is too heavy for me to to use because of my shoulders, but I think I may have found a solution. I'm going to take you around. This side is 7/6, so we did have to trim the tops of them, but at least the width of the siding was 4 foot, so we didn't have to trim any of that. another recycled window. This is the goat side, an opening for the goats to just come out. Damn! Sorry guys, my husband snuck up and scared me to death. I backfilled around the cement slab, which I used my handy dandy cart, and I've got a video of that. Anytime you're working on something, you're going to run into problems. This trim should have been up in the first 4 hours of today, but every time I turn around, something different. I put this little cutout so that this little jobby would fit inside there, but now since the trim work's there, it won't go all the way to lock it shut. So I'm going to have to drill a hole into the trim. Then I put hooks and eyes on the back side of the door so that it would hold it open, but now I put the trim up and the door won't go all the way open like it did before. So those of you that have followed me, I usually have little gadgets that I buy when they're on clearance. I have a screen door spring I'm going to put on the inside of this door so that it pulls it shut when I go inside so that I don't break the glass. I got the spring on. It works just perfect. I got the hole drilled. It's a little tight, but that problem solved. And any of you wondering what this is, it's a disposable sweatband. It's a little bitty sponge, and it's not really a fashion statement. My husband gave it to me, but it works. Earlier this week, I went to the Hannibal Homesteading Conference, and we learned so much. I had a blast. Went last year, but when we went back this year, it was familiar faces and more like you weren't just going to a conference, you were going to meet with friends. And I could name all the names and talk about everything that they talked about, but there's other videos on that. And one of the things that came up on the question board was homesteading and aging. In about 4 weeks, because I've been posting a video every 2 weeks, I would like to go over aging and homesteading on different ideas you can implement to facilitate that. You no longer have 16-year-old teenagers at home that each out of house and home. You don't have to have a huge scale farm, hobby farm, garden in order to do that, to be sustainable at home as you age. So I want to implement some of those same ideas I used in home health. I did home health for 8 years, and that was the job, was to try to keep people in their homes, out of nursing homes, out of the hospital. The same concepts would work for homesteading and elderly, and I would like to go through several ideas that I've been thinking about. So please come back and see me in about 4 weeks on that one, and hopefully next week I'll be integrating my chickens out of their small coop into this, and I bet they'll be much happier.